right, perfect. Well, thank you guys so much for having me. I know it's Tuesday night and dinner time, and we could be at Chick-fil-A, but I'm so excited to be here with you guys, and I just appreciate you guys making the time to listen to a little bit about my story and a little bit about Rotaract as well. So basically, what I'm really hoping to do tonight is mostly get all of your questions answered. Amber had mentioned that Rotaract is a really new concept. And there is honestly a lot that is changing for Rotaract, especially over the last couple of years. So a lot of exciting opportunities for you all as Rotarians to engage with, some younger students, some college students, younger professionals, and help them experience Rotary. So anyway, my goal is to really hopefully challenge you guys a little bit to think about Rotaract in terms of helping your Rotary Club membership long term. But don't worry, we'll start from the very beginning. We'll walk through all the basics together. So if you've never heard of Rotaract, that is no problem at all. You are not alone. It is one of Rotary's well-kept secrets. So hence the past less traveled. But hopefully by the end of this, it'll be a path you guys are interested in taking. So for those of you that I don't know just yet, my name is Alex Ritchie. So I am here in Richmond, Virginia in District 7600. So not too far from you all. But I generally, so I wanted to also, Allie Fisher, she's my counterpart for District 7600. So I wanted to kind of sort of introduce you to both of us with just me here in person, just to let you guys know that if you did ever want to engage with Rotaract, you do have both of us to help you through that process in any way that you all need. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump in. So what is Rotaract? So these are just a couple of words that really stand out to me when I try to define it. It's hard to define. If we had a couple hours, I could give you guys my full definition. But Rotaract is really an opportunity for young people between the ages of 18 and 30. That's the current age range, which is subject to change if you've read the recent Rotary International Board of Director decisions. So that age range could change. But for now, young people between the ages of 18 and 30 to really get to know Rotary. So it's kind of like a Rotary membership trial. So Rotaract clubs exist and they function at the local and international level, very similarly to the way that Rotary clubs exist. They're just made up of whether it's college students or young professionals that fall within that designated age range. So just a couple of reasons why Rotaract is important. I might be a little bit biased, but I think it's a really, really incredible opportunity for your club to double its impact, right? So if you think of Rotaract as a second arm of your Rotary Club that's out there representing Rotary, representing your club's vision, your mission, they're there to back you up in service and fellowship and leadership events that you may attend. So it's really just another opportunity to engage with a generation that Rotary doesn't always have easy access to. It's also a really incredible opportunity for mentorship. So I'm going to share a little bit about my background with you all in a minute, but mentorship has been absolutely key to everything related to Rotary for me. I'm sure you guys have other similar stories as well along those lines. It also, most importantly, when we think about Rotary membership, we want our clubs to be relevant, right? We want our clubs to remain important and impactful long-term, not just in the immediate. And Rotaract really provides a way to do that in a long-term investment sort of way, by elevating the lives of the young people around us in our communities, the up-and-coming leaders. It's ensuring that Rotary will stay a part of their journey and hopefully stay a part of our communities, forever in theory. So it's also fun. It's a way to, further emphasize a family and friend-centered atmosphere of your club. It also allows you to be more reflective of the community you're serving, because all of our communities have young people for the most part, and it's important for our clubs to be reflective of the people we're looking to serve. And, lastly, it's really about diversifying our assets, right? So you hear that in business a lot. It's just another opportunity to engage people in your story, your club's journey, your club's projects, and a chance to get them engaged and get them to fall in love with Rotary the same way that you did. So I tried really, really hard. This is not an official international Rotary definition. This is my definition of Rotaract in one sentence, which was a little challenging to do, I'm not going to lie. But an opportunity for young people to come together to create lasting friendship, find dedicated mentors, and have the chance to do something truly amazing for the world around us to sustain Rotary for years to come. So if I absolutely had to summarize it in 3 words, it would be family, growth, and service. And I think one of the things that I wanted to point out to you all, if you think about kind of your own definition for Rotary or for your, for this club, for example, this definition might fit that. and so I think there are so many parallels between a Rotaractor and a Rotarian. There might be an age gap, but, we're all in it for the same reasons, to find mentors, to make connections, meaningful connections, and to do something in the community that's sustainable. So, Rotaract is really an opportunity for young people to see Rotary, but also to really find themselves, and to find that place where they can thrive, to find their identity through service, and hopefully find a second family. So that is definitely what happened for me. So this is myself and my counterpart, Allie, here in District 7600. So we both are totally available to you all at any point for any questions. But, at this point, I kind of wanted to let you guys know a little bit about me. My path to Rotary has not been super conventional. So I don't have any family in Rotary. I truthfully never heard of it until high school. So you guys might be familiar, but there is, just as there is Rotaract for college and young adults, there's also Interact for high school students. So I did Interact in high school, but truthfully it was because I was applying to college and I needed those community service hours, checking the box. But so I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. And I remember during the first meeting, our Rotary advisors that were working with the Interact Club at the time, they were talking about a fundraiser they had just done to basically send livestock to a family in Central America. And this seemed sort of crazy, sort of random. It wasn't like service projects I had heard of before. But, really when I stepped back and I reflected on what that was doing for that family in Central America, it was that piece of sustainability that I really just fell in love with about Rotary. For me, Rotary isn't about just the one-time quick fixes that you can do for the community. It's about that, plus also being engaged long-term in the lives of those in our community. And it's a chance to really do something, to really implement change. And that's the piece that I fell in love with. So I didn't really know, at what point I would join Rotary, or I didn't know that Rotaract would become such a key part of my life. But essentially, flash forward a couple years, right before I was about to graduate high school, my parents went through kind of a tricky divorce. So, separation, divorce type of thing. It took a toll on not only on our family and our relationship there, but also it dictated my college plans in a way I wasn't expecting. So you guys might be familiar with Ferrum College. It's out, out west, right before you hit West Virginia, middle of nowhere, not a lot to do out there. But that was really where I had set my sights on attending school. So I was going to go there and then hopefully on to medical school. I've always wanted to be a physician. That did not end up happening. So instead, as a result of the things my family was going through, I did the worst thing I felt I could have done at the time. And I enrolled in community college, which I definitely was of the opinion, the misconception that community college is less than a four-year school, which was entirely wrong. It is, when I look back, it is where everything began for me. And a large part of that is because that's where I found Rotaract. That's where I found Rotary, truthfully. It's where I started to find my place. So the community college where I went did not have a Rotaract club. So I figured, I don't know anyone here. I don't really know what my purpose is. At this point, things were kind of rocky, with my family, and I didn't really know what my life plan was anymore. And I'm definitely a planner, so I'd like to have that plan. So I kind of clung to Rotaract a little bit as a way to kind of get me out of that funk. And so I reached out to the only Rotary club I knew at the time in my district that had worked with my high school Interact club. And I just asked them if they would be willing to partner with me to help form this new Rotaract club at my community college. So, they agreed, thankfully they agreed to come on that journey with me. And it was just the most incredible process. So you guys probably know you have businesses or you've built something, whether it's a club or otherwise, from the ground up. It's a challenging process. But what I kind of realized, is that going through the process of trying to recruit people and engage people and figure out what it was about Rotaract and Rotary that attracted them, I realized going through that process, I was becoming a better person myself. I felt not only growth, but I also felt like I was coming to understand what it means to be a service-oriented leader. I really wanted to create opportunities for my peers to thrive. It was less about what am I looking to get out of this experience and more of how can I cultivate a club culture and an experience that is going to allow others to thrive. And that really is, just a place that I love to be. It gives me so much fulfillment. And when I look back, it was really the Rotary mentors who agreed to help me through that process of forming the club, they really took a chance on me because, I was 18 years old. I was untested. I was, really nervous, a recent high school graduate. I didn't have any experience with this sort of thing, but, they saw something in me that I had not yet seen in myself. And I think that is just an element of every Rotarian that is just so incredible, the willingness to help elevate another person. And they completely changed my life. So Rotary, in short, cannot exist without a successful and a willing Rotary partner to engage with and really help mentor that new Rotaract club through the process, while also serving as a mentor long term, helping them plan projects. It really is a partnership. And it's a piece that made all the difference for me. So Allie, her role within the district, she works with our Rotaract clubs and a couple other Rotaract clubs in other districts surrounding us. And then my role is to kind of help facilitate the relationship between our Rotaractors and their Rotary partners. So a little bit into the logistics. So there are roughly 250,000 Rotaractors in over 11,000 clubs worldwide. So, like we mentioned at the beginning, Rotaract, like Rotary, has that international reach, that international influence. And so here, kind of locally, this is sort of a snapshot of the Virginia region, not completely accurate as a whole, but there's roughly 13 active Rotaract clubs. Some of those are in 7,600, some are in surrounding districts. So for us, we have 9 clubs that are at a university and 4 that are at a community. So what does that mean? So there's basically 2 different Rotaract membership styles. So just like for you all, for example, you all are an E-club membership type within Rotary, whereas there's traditional and there's passport clubs. For Rotaract, you can either have a university Rotaract club or a community. So, the difference is in the name. The university Rotaract clubs are formed, like I did with community college, centered around some sort of academic institution. Whereas the community-based clubs, they're kind of interesting because they're not tied to a specific university. They exist freely in the community, just like your Rotary club does. And they function in a very similar way. They won't meet at a university. They'll meet, generally for a drink or, something like that to hold their meetings. So, turning this over to you guys at this point, I hope that as we go forward through the rest of the talk here and then any questions that you guys have, I really hope you guys will ask yourselves, how can your club fit into this picture? So one thing I did want to mention about you all that I think is really special is just the fact that you guys are kind of living the dream from a Rotaract perspective. Because I think when Rotaractors look at what they're going to do post Rotaract, how are they going to fit into Rotary? That's kind of a challenging question. But with the E-Club model that you all are very much forging the path on and setting an example, you guys are kind of sending the message that it's possible to be engaged with Rotary and still be super busy. There are flexible membership styles for people to engage in if they want to join Rotary. And I think that is so powerful. So long story short, I would love to see you all engaging, even if it's just informally, with Rotaract, because I think you all have so much to offer just as young professionals, working people with families, but you're also still trying to engage in Rotary in a way that works for you on your terms. And I think that is just such a powerful message that's much needed for Rotaractors to see. So just some quick tips if you're ever considering engaging with Rotaract. It really is about relationship building, just like anything else. I think a lot of times when Rotarians are working with Rotaractors, we get kind of caught up in the age gap because it can be kind of challenging to speak to a young person who is, years behind you. So I remember I had never really internalized that until there was this one opportunity where I was speaking to Girl Scouts here in Richmond, and there was like a 10-year age gap, and I really, really struggled. I was so nervous, and I had done other speaking engagements, but I was most nervous for this one, and I'll always remember it because it was just there was such an age gap that it impacted the way in which I was interacting with them. And I had to work hard in order to overcome that. But once I really, sort of internalized this is about me for fostering a relationship with them, it became all the more easy. So, focusing on relationship building is key, and keeping partnership in mind, just like we discussed earlier. And a big piece of that is equality and understanding in all things. So, working with Rotaract, it's an opportunity to boost your club, to also engage your members. So what that can look like. You can have full Rotary Club engagement. You can have a couple of your members serving as mentors for Rotaractors within the community or the surrounding community, whatever that ends up looking like. But, it's really an opportunity for, maybe you do project with Rotaract and you have two co-chairs for that project, one from the Rotary Club and one from the Rotaract Club. So there's lots of opportunities. We also have Rotaractors going to district events. So there is generally a presence there because, any leadership training that's available to you all is valuable to Rotaractors as well. But getting back to this relationship piece, this opportunities for growth and development really fits within that, as well as this give of yourself, your time, and your talents. Rotaract is not a financial commitment to engage with them. It really is just about giving of the experiences that you've had, being willing to share your perspective, to provide some guidance, whether it's career related or Rotary related, or even personal life related, just being willing to be present in that way. And also sharing your talents with them, because it's difficult being within this Rotaract age gap, and just that 18 to 30 time period. It can be a challenge. So just having access to someone who has been through that or is currently going through that and has tips to share, it makes all the difference. So one other thing I wanted to share with you all that was kind of exciting, if you aren't familiar with something called the Council on Legislation, it's essentially the governing body for Rotary International. So they meet once every 3 years with representatives from all across the Rotary world to make decisions about all things Rotary. So they met this past year, earlier this year, and one of the big decisions on the docket was about Rotaract. So what they were hoping to do was really elevate Rotaract to a full partner within Rotary. So this was really exciting because it further emphasized this idea of equality, partnership, and family. So, Rotaract was changing from being a program within Rotary, something that Rotary Club sponsored, to a group of young people that Rotary Clubs can partner with and work with equally in order to do great things for the world around us. So that was incredibly exciting. So a couple of new opportunities that Rotaractors have as a result of this kind of change. Rotaractors can now apply for district grants. So, if your club is looking at doing a district or international grant, you can now apply in conjunction with a Rotaract club. So that's exciting. They can also work directly now with Rotary and with Interact clubs at high school level, which provides more opportunity for mentorship and, really engaging with different generations. Also, over the next couple of years, if you all are engaged, whether it's zone level or internationally or even at your district level, if you go to trainings or district conferences, over the next couple of years, we are looking at there being more Rotaract representation for that, which is really exciting. And then a couple of just quick final points here. Rotaractors can now contribute to the Rotary Foundation, which is great because the foundation is, as you all know, the giving arm of our organization. It allows us to do so many incredible things. So this is kind of being more intentional with giving young people the opportunity to witness the power of the foundation. And then lastly, all the district committees and the zone committees that exist are now being more inclusive of Rotaractors, which is incredibly exciting. Another great opportunity. So anyway, that's all I had formally. I, really was hoping this could be a conversation and, time for me to answer any and all questions that you guys might have. Last thing I'll say is that the Rotaract vision can look different for everyone. You don't have to find a young person and work to build a club up from scratch. Even if you're just interested in being a mentor to a Rotaractor, whether it's from your district or from across the East Coast of the US or across the world, we can make that happen. So whatever is going to be most meaningful and most valuable for you and for a way for you guys to engage with this next generation of young people, it would make all the difference, and we would love to have you all. So if at any point, you come up with a question that we don't have time for tonight, that is our email, and then both of our cell phones. We are both always available to each of you, and anyone else who tunes into this later, we'd love to hear from you and just take any questions you have. So anyway, thank you all so much for having me. I'll go ahead and minimize this. And then Amber, I'm not sure if there is time. I'm more than happy to take any questions or thoughts you guys might have.